Well, when COVID-19 struck around the world, one of the unexpected pros was the fact that the International Church started to release incredible versions of the song The Blessing, originally from Elevation Worship. And it was amazing over that time to see a lot of countries, a lot of churches, a lot of Christian groups respond. And there were some beautiful versions of that song. And there is now a New Zealand version of The Blessing. It's The Blessing Aotearoa, and the man with the vision and the passion behind it is Grant Norsworthy, who joins me from Nelson now. Hi, Grant.
G'day, Luke. I feel like I've just given birth. me and 200 singers got our heads together. We've just released The Blessing Aotearoa, New Zealand. It's a virtual choir video, and we've been absolutely blown away with the response. What a joy to have it out there.
It is incredible. I mean, let me start by saying, I'm not surprised that you've done an amazing job with this and that New Zealanders have done an amazing job with this, but it is absolutely spectacular. I've been blessed and I've seen it in advance. And I mean, does this sort of exceed your expectations, or did you always know that it was going to be special?
Oh no, it absolutely has exceeded my expectations, and it was a team effort. Like I guess it fell to me to steer the ship, but this was only going to be as good as it is with the work of the 200 singers or so who submitted their videos, the army of technicians behind this, and administrators and video editors, mix engineers. It's been an amazing team effort from Kiwis. And you know, there's really, with a project like this, there's three sort of elements. You can either get it fast, cheap, or high quality. And we got two. And here we are 3 months after starting with something that's just absolutely gone beyond my expectations.
Yeah, I mentioned the fact that many versions of this have come out over the COVID-19 crisis, but this really is a little bit different. One of the key elements to this is it's just quintessentially Aotearoa, it's quintessentially New Zealand. And I think one of the really special things when you see it, and the audience will get to see it very shortly, is the use of Te Reo Māori. There's the language in it, there's also some local singers, but it's just got an amazing spirit, a spirit of New Zealand.
Yeah, and that was really important, and maybe your people watching this can tell that I'm an Australian, but I married a New Zealander, so I hope you're okay with me here. But I've lived in different places around the world, and when I started calling Aotearoa, New Zealand my home in late 2018, which feels very recently, I knew I wanted to learn about this beautiful country. I've been married to Brooke, my wife, for quite a few years, had 3 Kiwi children. But now calling Apamuteri in the top of the South Island our home, I wanted to know more. And there's been quite a journey there, but to get to your question, when I decided to produce this version of The Blessing and have it representing Aotearoa, I knew straight away that we'd have to integrate some elements of the Māori culture. And it was an amazing journey for me to speak to some people, and I need to thank people like David Tapane Sr. and a couple of the guys from my local marae who helped me understand that you can't just hang Te Reo on a song like it's a cheap Christmas bauble on a plastic Christmas tree. You know, you've got to think about this and show a partnership and a mutual respect for different cultures. And in so doing, there's a great respect. But, you know, Bishop Quito and a choir from Northland added a beautiful verse 3 with a wonderful pre-arranged 4-part harmony that I had nothing to do with musically. And we have a karanga and the karakia, as people will be able to see in a moment. And I feel like that, together with some New Zealand landscape footage and just a wonderful diverse range of singers who take part in the song, I think that's our strength. That's what sets our version of The Blessing apart from the many others that have gone before us.
I mean, I know I'm a little bit biased being a Kiwi, but I genuinely believe that this is the best version of The Blessing that has been released. It's just spectacularly well done. You mentioned some of the singers that you have involved in the project, and I know right from the start this was never about the celebrity of individuals, which I think is one of the wonderful things. When you watch it, you don't actually mention the individuals, you mention the churches that they're from, the communities that they worship as a part of. But in saying that, you do have some amazing amazing New Zealanders as part of this, and I thought there were some incredible standout performances from Steve Aotearoa, from Phil Joel, who of course was formerly from the Newsboys, David Lyle Morris just sang so beautifully in it, Nathan King from Zed. I mean, when you're watching it as a Kiwi and someone that's been involved in Christian music, it is kind of the who's who of the industry.
Well, thanks for noticing. And all those people contributed their voices in their videos without any thought of that. The first one of these virtual choir videos, I call them, that I saw was the UK Blessing way back in March. And I love that there were just church names, but no names of singers on that one. And for people who knew, there were some big names there. And I noticed that and wanted that to be part of ours as well, because I think there was a beautiful strength in that. Not only is there a diversity of some people are better known or more publicly recognized and many who are not, but there's also a diversity of, denominational emphases and theological differences. And, we have some wonderful Catholic singers and Seventh-day Adventist singers and people from the full gamut. And I love that we've got, a cathedral choir in their robes in our video, as well as people wearing oversized t-shirts and skinny jeans, and it's just this wonderful, diverse picture that brings about this strength in our diversity that I believe Jesus was praying for us about in John 17:21, when he prays that we would be one as he and the Father are one. And that's the best thing about not only the blessing Aotearoa, but I think it's the best thing about all these blessing videos from around the world.
Yeah, I know a lot of people are very, very keen to see it, so we won't keep them much longer. But, we live in an age where we create content, we put it on social media, and we're judged on that content by the old likes. But this is so much more than that, right? I mean, what is your hope for the video, for the song, now that it's released? What happens next?
Well, call me crazy, but I believe that God is speaking to us and that God is alive. And the words of this song predominantly come from Numbers chapter 6, verse 24 through to 26. And I think these words of the Lord bless you and keep you, make his face shine upon you and give you peace, this is what God is saying to us in Aotearoa today. Whether you call yourself a Christian or not, whether you live in New Zealand or somewhere else, God is for us and he's not against us. He's with us. And my hope is that in our small way, the Church of Aotearoa has added our voice to the voice of the global church, declaring this truth of God. We just want to be a pipe through which God can flow. And this is our attempt to avail ourselves to that wonderful, beyond our understanding possibility that God is going to do something beautiful and powerful through this song. And 2020's been a tough year, have you noticed? And I really believe that not just right now, but in days to come, people will look back and see, well, what did the Christians do in response to these tough times? And there are many positive things. And one of the positives to me is that we decided to sing. We decided to sing God's words of blessing to all people everywhere. And that's something worth singing about, That's something that is worth 3 months of hard work.
Yeah, amen to that. Yeah, and it is emotional. It's an incredible thing that you and the team have accomplished, and I absolutely believe what you were saying, that it is going to be a massive blessing to New Zealanders and also to the entire world. And thank you so much for the work that you did. Well, here it is, New Zealand. This incredible piece of work, The Blessing, Aotearoa.
face shine upon you and be gracious to you.
The Lord turn his face toward you and give you peace. The Lord bless you and keep you.
Make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you.
The Lord turn his face toward you
And give you peace. Amen. 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 Aihoakoe, e mana ki e tiaki.
Tōna mata e tia hoki a koe, e ata whai anō hoki. Mai ho tōna kanohi, e whakara ki a koe, e atau ai ko te aiotanga.
May his favor be upon you and 1,000 generations, and your family, and your children, and their children, and their children.
May his favor be upon you and 1,000 generations, and your family, and your children, and their children, and their children.
May his favor be upon you and 1,000 generations, and your family, and your children, and their children, and their children.
May his favor be upon you and 1,000 generations, and your family, and your children, and their children, and their children.
May his praises go before you and behind you and beside you, all around you and within you. He is with you. He is with you.
he honore, he gloria, he hallelujah ki te atua. He maungarongo, he atapai, he manaki ki runga i te mato te whenua. He hakaro pai, he hakaro hui, he hakaro roa ki ngā tangata katoa. Nō reira ki a tau, ki a tātou katoa. Te atawhai o tō tātou ariki o iu kalaiti, me te aroha o te atua, me te whiwhinga tahitanga, ki te wairua tapu, ake, 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 ame.